Last week I talked about the N of one, right? That you're the experiment and you have to experiment. Like that's what your tracking does. Okay, I use this word track, like he's saying, did that word track work or did it not? But if you don't track it, right? If you don't write it down, if you don't quantify it, and writing things down helps with clarity as well. Like getting things out of your head, because I our thoughts they tumble around in our head. I just saw this thing, like, when you're playing bingo and they turn the thing and all the little numbers are going, that's what our brains do, like all day long. They just jump from thought to 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 thought. So getting some of those thoughts out, pulling them out. How many people have watched Harry Potter? Any of the Harry Potter movies? Okay, so remember when Dumbledore takes the wand and he pulls the memory out of Harry's brain? Like that's what I see when I say that. Like take that out, pull it out, and get it down on paper, right? And write it down, because when you write it down, you're going to get more clarity about it, because there's so many other thoughts going on in your head at the same time that one's going on, that sometimes you can't isolate it in your head. You need to isolate it on paper. And something that Eric said about JR is Myron Golden. I've been listening to, he's got a series called 20 Secrets that can make you rich in your 20s. And he's talking about the 4 levels of value, and he's diving into each one. But what he said is once he stopped looking, like searching for customers, and he made himself visible to customers, like what JR's doing. Like he came and showed me, oh my God, look at my video. It got, I don't know, thousands of views, right? He's making himself visible, right? And there's going to be people that find him. They're like, I need a car. And they're going to come and ask him to help solve their problem of not having the car that they want, right? So making yourself more visible. Visible? So last week I talked about, he talked about stacking up wins, and it made me think, because we just had the Olympics, of like, how did they get there? How did all of those athletes get there, right? They didn't like go from high school and go, you know what, I'd like to go to the Olympics, and then boom, you go to the Olympics. It's race, like if you're a runner, it's race after race after race after race after race that you have to win, you have to improve, you have to get better. It's all those little wins that he was talking about. And they don't win every race, but hopefully they learned something from the race that they didn't win. And quite frankly, competition, iron sharpens iron, right? Get with your teammates. If you're having trouble closing, sit with somebody who's the best closer while they do a car deal if you don't have a customer. If you're having trouble demoing, get with somebody who in this room like can give a badass demo and shadow them. Even if you've been here a year, 2 years, 5 years, whatever, right? Do those things that can help you sharpen your tools. So last week I talked about addition by subtraction. And I want to talk about something, I learned a new word. It's called liminal. So there's a thing called a liminal space. Let me get the definition. Liminal. Whoops, sorry, I need to go over here. So liminal is occupying a position at or on both sides of a boundary or a threshold. It's also relating to a transitional or initial stage of a process. The liminal period when a child is old enough to begin following rules but too young to do so consistently. Some of you are in that liminal space. You're in that space in between a life that you've been living and a life that you want to live, right? You're in that in-between space. We say sometimes, I'm on the threshold of discovery if they're, out exploring things, right? That's being in a liminal space. You haven't made a decision to go here, there. You don't want to go back, but you don't know if you're going to go forward. Like, you're in that in between. So we have to, right? We have to give something up to move forward. When you're moving forward, you're always leaving something else behind. Always. So you've got to decide what you're leaving behind. Now I want to do a little exercise, but I need a volunteer. Anybody want to volunteer? Ernest had his hand up first. All right. So I want you to put, this is $50 bill. I want you to put this in one hand. And this is a $20 bill. I want you to put that in your other hand. Now, I have more money in 3 of my pockets. But what are you willing to give up to take a chance that one of my pockets has more money than that? So, because if he wants to put something in one of his hands, he's got to set something down. He's got to let it go. All right, I have money in this pocket and money in both my back pockets. Which one do you choose?
Do that right back pocket.
Right back pocket. $10. Right? He didn't know what he was going to get, but he was willing to put something down. That's yours. The $10 is yours. He was willing to put something down to take the chance. But he still walked away with $10. Right? Exactly. Sometimes, right? Maybe you need to give up more than you think you do, because if he had chosen this pocket, he would have had more than what was in both hands. Right? So sometimes you have to give up more than you think. Sometimes, right? That's the path of least resistance. Well, I'll just give up this little thing, and then that'll help me move forward. And it will. He still walked away with more than he had when he walked up here, right? But sometimes there's more, you need to sacrifice more. You need to subtract more than you think you do, right? We think that, oh, okay, I gave up this little thing. Man, I'm moving forward. I'm good to go, right? But are you, right? It's that accurate assessment. It's that, I've said it for months, accurate, truthful self-assessment. Where are you? What is holding you back? Listen, things that make you happy and feel good can hold you back. We talked about that last week. Nothing in and of itself is good or bad, right? I said the table's not good, it's not bad. It has no qualities. It's just a thing that sits here. But if it doesn't serve us, then it's just in the way, right? You've got to get in that backpack and find out what serves you and what doesn't, right? Lighten the load, because you can move a lot faster through life. I've said before, the first rule of personal development is people will only rise above, or they won't rise above the level. I need to look at that again. You will never rise above your own belief about yourself, is basically what it's saying. So how do you believe in yourself more, right? Maybe there's habits and things that you leave behind. Why do you not believe in yourself? Have you failed in the past? Okay, cool. You failed in the past. Guess what? Join the club of humanity, right? You failed. You failed. Congratulations, you're in the club, right? It's the people who understand their failures and take them and dissect them and go, what just happened and how can this not happen again? It's the N of one. That didn't work. I used to say to my son all the time when he was little and something would happen, Ezra, I used to say this to Ezra, something would happen and he would fall or get hurt or he failed at something, I would be like, well, that didn't go according to plan. Like, I would say that didn't go well. That's how we need to view our failure. That didn't go well. Why? Okay, figure out why. And move on. Learn from it. Take the lesson, right? That's why Eric was talking to me. He's like, my thought processes are not going well. And he was aware of it. He understood it. And he's like, why do I do this? Why do I think like that? And I'm like, well, knowing that you're doing it helps you. Okay. So now you have to figure out the plan of action. What can I do when I'm aware that my thoughts are moving in a negative or fearful or anxious or just rude direction? I'm aware, oh shoot, I don't want to go over here. I want to be over there. How do I get there? Right? So just remembering that anytime you're moving forward, you're always leaving something else behind. You're leaving what was and moving into what could be. Now, if you're stuck in that liminal space, if you're stuck in that space in between of, I know I don't want that, but I have no idea what's in front of me. I have no idea if I go sell cars, right, JR? You don't have any clue if this is going to work. But you're like, okay, well, let me just go, right? Anybody an Indiana Jones fan? Okay, so there's one movie where they're going and they're in this cave and he's following his dad's diary and he's like, my dad says there's a bridge and there's nothing there. It's just a big crevasse, right? It's just huge and it's way down there. And he's like, but my dad, it's in his journal. He says it's there. I know if he said it, it's got to be there. So he just closes his eyes and he just goes like this off the edge, and there's a bridge there that you can't see. And that's how life is sometimes. But we're telling you, there's a bridge there. There's a bridge there. If you will trust and just believe that that bridge is there and that we can get you there based on how many years of experience are sitting in this room, right? Josh has been in the car business, how long? 15? Probably about 12 years. Eric's been in the car business probably over 25 years. Alex, you've been in the car business 20 years. Brian, yeah, exactly, right? Brian, 8 years, right? Just those 4 people alone. Rick, how long have you been selling cars? Just 3 years. Okay. Right? There's so much experience here. I know. That's right. That's exactly right. And Indiana Jones said, my dad wouldn't mislead me. And if it's in his book, it's true, it's real, it's going to happen. You just have to take that step. You just have to get off the cliff that you're on and just go, right? We're going to catch you. These guys know what they're doing. Eric knows what he's doing. We wouldn't be still open for 10 years. What did he tell us last week? 11 dealerships in the last 30 days. Small independent dealerships have closed in San Antonio area. 11. It wasn't 2 or 3. Well, you could say, well, maybe they weren't ready to do that. 11. Of probably people who'd been in the car business a long time and decided to open their own business. 11. That's a lot in 30 days. So remembering that addition by subtraction is forward motion, separate to elevate, remember the N of 1, do what Eric's telling you, quantify. Maybe if you guys want, maybe we get a piece of paper and you write your customer's name and we have all the categories and you assess yourself after every time. You grade yourself. Did I do a demo? Did I do the meet and greet right? How did this go, right? And you can check your boxes and you can see where the holes are and you can physically see where the holes are to know, oh shoot, like Eric says, maybe you're only doing that 50% of the time. If you did it 75, then here we are. And if everybody in this room sold 3 more cars a month, make him happy, your life would change. Because you would also then realize how easy it is to just sell 3 more cars a month, right? And those 3 cars can mean the difference between whether you bonus or not bonus, right? Because selling 10 cars isn't going to get you your bonus, right? Because they're probably not all going to fund. And what if you don't have any carryovers? Well, then you ended up at 8 because 2 of them didn't fund, right? So you got to get those extra 2 or 3. But you can't get them if you don't leave old perceptions, old thought patterns, old behavior patterns, if you don't leave them and move forward, if you don't take that chance and step out into the unknown, and you don't just say, okay, I'm going to put this down because I think I'm going to get something better, right? You have to let something go to get something else. It's a constant process, right? In order for the trees to produce fruit, they have to drop all their leaves in the winter. They have to hibernate so that when the spring comes, everything's fresh and new, right? You can't just be, there are some trees that are all year round, but not fruit trees and things like that. So there's a season, right? There's a season. Everything has a season. Things have to die so that other things can be born. And it's that way in our lives. So, and going back to 2 weeks ago, that consistency versus conviction, right? Are you just going to be, are you going to be committed or convicted, right? Are you just going to come to work every day and you're going to do the things? And yeah, I watch the videos on Andy Elliott. You don't take notes, but you watch your videos and you don't get with other people to help you, but you do your walk-arounds. And that's committed. You're doing it. You're doing the things that we ask. You're doing your posts. You're doing all the things. But are you convicted that letting certain things go are going to help you to get other things?